they're the reason why we didn't come back. They knocked down big shots, at the right time when we had our runs. Either got to the free throw line, and, that's what it was. Them playing good defense as well.
Hey, Kawhi, after game one, Doc mentioned you guys being disciplined defensively in your pick and roll coverages. How did you feel you did tonight in pick and roll?
I think it was okay. I got to look at the film. It was a lot of one-on-one and them just getting biased and getting easy layups. I felt like with no weak side there, just not being, disciplined in those aspects of those one-on-one situations. Fouling jump shooters too much, letting them get by on easy drives. And, that's what I felt. But I'll watch film and see what happened.
Next, go over to Tomer. Way earlier in the season, one of the things you said was that this team is going to have to endure, tough losses, some arguments as well. Is this one of those games where you kind of, need this in terms of the pursuit of the playoffs and championship? Just the adversity, the loss, the way you lose, just to build a championship habits moving forward?
No one ever wants to lose, but, obviously it's the playoffs, and, every moment is a learning moment to learn from mistakes and even learn from what you did good. So, right now, since it is a loss, we got to get through that adversity and, step up for the test.
We'll go down to the bubble part.
You guys, we've been saying all year that maybe you guys are the deepest team in the league. But Pat's out, Cap. How important or how, detrimental can that be to be missing him against this team specifically with the personality?
He's a very important player. Guarding, energy, being a point guard, calling sets, seeing what's on the floor. So, everybody plays a big role. Being in and out the lineup, it can affect the chemistry, but, we should, be a team that, a man go down, a man steps up, and, that's what we got to do.
Hey, Kawhi, Luka Doncic broke a record tonight. He can carry Dallas. There's an answer to this claim?
You said he broke a record? What record?
Tonight, he can carry Dallas. Is there an answer to his claim?
We just got to, stay focused, stay locked in, know the matchups that they're going at, and, just play good team defense on him. That's all you could do. He's a great player. And
all in one, Corey Maggette, Don McLean, Jeannie Zelasco. We made it to a post game here, and I can't wait to hear from Doc Rivers because I think this is going to be another frustrating one, Don McLean.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by the result of the game, but I'm not surprised by the Mavericks and how they played. If you think about it, and I was thinking about this before the game ended, if the Mavericks don't win tonight, they have to win 4 or 5 to win the series. So they were talking about that in their locker room. They talked about all the mistakes they made in game one, Porzingis not finishing the game, being ejected, and how close that game was. So they were motivated. And unfortunately, the Clippers just didn't match what the Mavericks brought to the table in the first quarter. And Doncic, and this is just one stat. There's going to be a lot of stats we talk about. But Luka Doncic had 11 turnovers, Corey, in the first game. Only had 1 tonight. So that tells you the Clippers' defense wasn't as good tonight as it was Monday night.
I wrote down some stuff on my paper, and it was the pace. The pace was totally different for the Clippers, and that's one thing that Doc stressed. They need to play with pace. Also, you look at it, that you can't expect to win. you can't just go out there and think you're going to win the game. And I saw right away that the Mavs came with your word, Don, a great disposition. They played with great pace. They moved the basketball, and they had multiple X factors in this game. Trey Burke, off a one-on-one, he really destroyed the Clippers by picking them apart, attacking the basket. Then you had Seth Curry that came in to make shots. But collectively, for the Mavs, they did all the right things to get a win.
Yeah, for a team that had so much of the yips in game one, that was not the case at all in game two. And one of your keys to this game was stopping them from three. I think they hit about 47% by the time we hit halftime. From the land of deep, it was just a little bit crazy, and the Clippers had no answers.
Well, it goes back to what Don stressed in the beginning. You have to stop Luka Doncic from getting inside the paint. And once he gets inside the paint, he has free reign to pass to his shooters. He is such a prolific passer, but he has great shooters. Porzingis started to get shots going. Luka Doncic early on hit 2 big threes. They got out to a run similar to what the Clippers did last
Hardaway
game.
Jr. as well.
Exactly, but they did not look back. They continued to play with great pace. They made shots, but when you give a team confidence, it takes off, Don.
When you give the lesser team confidence in the first quarter, you're going to have a problem.
Yes.
And different than the other night when the Clippers went out 18-2, Mavericks tonight went out 15-2. So they're saying to themselves now, wait, we can win this game. And that became a problem for the Clippers. The game was discharged.
The first half. And when you talk about what Kawhi Leonard did, he had 35 points and 10 rebounds, but it was a quiet 35 and 25. It almost down to the point where you need maybe 48 from a Kawhi Leonard would change because it will really change the game. But you need everyone to kind of get on the same page right now. They're not on the same page. They're not playing with the right pace. They need to get more chemistry, and also bringing off the bench is Montrezl Harrell. He played pretty well tonight, but you need to get that back going, that Lou Will Montrezl Harrell game, in order to get their team to the next level.
It's interesting what you said about Pat Bev, because pregame it was Doc who said, you know, you lose a lot of the little things, Don. And I think that's what we started to see. We were kind of watching the game early together, and I think you made the comment that it felt like they were waiting for someone like a Pat Bev, who wasn't out there on the court, to kind of start the fire.
Well, I think they've gotten used to him being that starter for them, you know, to get the energy up. You know, he plays with so much energy, so much passion, and he's so vocal that guys follow along to start the game. So when he's not in there, they kind of look around and they're not sure how to generate it themselves. But we don't know if Patrick Beverley's going to play on Friday or not. But you can't use that as an excuse. You got to find a way to get off to a better start.
Paul George limited to just over 10 minutes in the entire first half. He had, 3 fouls, quick, very early on. Finished with a respectable second half at, 14 points, 8 rebounds. You just felt like, Corey, maybe his timing wasn't there because of the foul situation. It was kind of a start-stop for PG.
Well, you kind of digging yourself out a hole. And when you think about you have 3 fouls in the first half, that means all of a sudden you have to completely shut down because you're sitting. That means that he's sitting on a bench for over 45 minutes. And all of a sudden, when you look at what the Mavs done during the game, they had a great rhythm. You need to get back in the game and figure out their rhythm. It never really happened during this entire game. And hopefully it won't happen the next game. You need some other people to kind of step up. But it was tough having Paul George, Don, sit on the bench that long and have the Mavs going in such an incredible run.
Usually superstar players come through just because they're better than everyone, but the other team's not going to give it to you. So if you pick up 3 early fouls and you're not in a rhythm or you're not warm or whatever it is, they're not just going to let you get going. And so it becomes hard for a guy like Paul George, where he's the second line on the scouting report, to get himself going when he's in foul trouble, when he's sat for a while. So hopefully for the Clippers and PG, foul trouble doesn't become a thing for him moving forward.
I'm doing some quick math, which is always scary, and I'm looking at roughly almost 60 fouls in this one, Don. How does this change your approach when you take the court? Because you know, like, you're gonna be whistled early in offense.
I don't know what happened when the bubble started, when the restart started, but it's been, and I've been sitting home for the last few days watching every minute of every game. It's like this for every game. So at some point, you're going to have to adjust. It's being called way closer than it was before the stoppage. I'm not sure why, if it's just a coincidence, but players and Clipper players are going to have to adjust to a quicker whistle.
All right, we have to adjust to what's going on in the bubble because Kawhi Leonard is ready to speak, and we want to hear from him. Let's go back to Orlando.
Just giving Dallas credit. They played hard tonight. You know, they're the reason why we didn't come back. They knocked down big shots. You know,